Hey, Sergeant, you want some of this new Cool Whip topping?
Later, Pyle. I'm getting in shape in case our Cool Whip contest winner's a girl. Anybody can win a trip to Hollywood and a guest appearance on the show.
On television, he was a storm in uniform. Red-faced, loud, and always 1 second away from exploding, Sergeant Vince Carter became one of the most unforgettable figures of 1960s television. But the man behind that voice, Frank Sutton, carried a story far deeper than any sitcom punchline. And once you understand what shaped him, you may never watch Gomer Pyle, U.S.M.C. the same way again. Long before Hollywood, Sutton had already faced real battlefields. When World War II began, he tried to join the United States Marine Corps but was rejected because of color blindness. Instead of giving up, he enlisted in the United States Army. He served in the Pacific Theater and took part in multiple assault landings during intense combat operations. For his bravery, he was awarded the Bronze Star and the Purple Heart, yet he rarely spoke about those honors. To him, war was not a badge of pride, but a memory of fear, discipline, and survival. Years later, when asked if his military past helped him play Sergeant Carter, Sutton gave a simple but powerful answer. He said he remembered what it felt like to be scared and trying not to show it. That single sentence explains the character better than any script ever could. The shouting was not just comedy. It was authority covering vulnerability. It was control masking fear. When Gomer Pyle premiered in 1964 as a spin-off of The Andy Griffith Show, it quickly became a major hit. The contrast between Sutton's fiery drill instructor and Jim Nabors' gentle, innocent Gomer created a formula audiences loved. The show consistently ranked among the top programs on television. On screen, their chemistry felt effortless. Behind the scenes, however, their dynamic was more professional than personal. Sutton was a trained dramatic actor and a graduate of Columbia University. He approached each episode with precision and preparation. Nabors came from a musical and variety background, relying more on instinct and natural charm. Their styles were different, but they respected each other's work. There is no confirmed evidence of major feuds. Yet several colleagues later acknowledged that Sutton sometimes felt creatively boxed in. As the seasons progressed, the formula rarely changed. Carter yelled. Gomer smiled. The audience laughed. While the show's success brought fame and security, it also limited Sutton's range. In later interviews, he admitted that he had become the type. Casting directors saw him only as the angry sergeant. Fans expected him to shout in public. What once felt like recognition slowly began to feel like confinement. When Jim Nabors chose to leave the series in 1969 to pursue music and variety projects, the show ended at its peak. Sutton continued acting, including appearances on the Jim Nabors Hour and various stage productions. Theater became especially important to him. On stage, he could explore characters with more depth and subtlety, away from the rigid image of Sergeant Carter. Then, on June 28, 1974, while performing in a play in Shreveport, Louisiana, Frank Sutton suffered a massive heart attack backstage. He was only 50 years old. The nation mourned the loss of a television icon. But beyond the headlines, those who knew him remembered something else. A disciplined actor, a decorated veteran, a thoughtful man who valued craft over celebrity. In recent years, renewed interest in classic television has brought Sutton's legacy back into conversation. Fans continue to celebrate his performance, not just for its volume, but for its authenticity. Behind every outburst was a man who understood service, structure, and sacrifice. Frank Sutton's story reminds us that fame can elevate a performer while quietly limiting the person beneath it. He gave everything to a role that made millions laugh, even when it narrowed the world's view of who he truly was. If this story gave you a new perspective on a classic television legend, make sure to like this video, share your thoughts in the comments, and subscribe to Hollywood Bulletin for more powerful stories that uncover the human side of Hollywood history.